gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast, 100% remote. And guess what? I'm by myself. Somebody decided to go ahead and get the flu and get sick and all that good stuff, and so he did not make the trip. Where am I? Louisville, Kentucky. Bourbon Beatdown. But I do have a guest with me, sitting right next to me. All for him racing, Mr. Alex Vasko. What's up, bud?
How are you doing, sir?
It has been a minute since we finally got to catch up.
Yeah, I think we met the first time here a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Your schedule is even crazier than ours. So when you got to do it over the phone, that's one thing. But when you can actually sit down, get a little face-to-face, that's a whole lot different.
I love this so much better. Yeah, talking on the phone, yeah. Just not the same.
You can't see me. I can't see you. You can't see Steven, when you're trying to.
Well, I can't see him anyways.
Because he's invisible as normal, I guess. Alex, how did you get your start, man?
Man, it's like anything else. It kind of morphed over the years. First, it just started with going to the county fairs, watching the Derby. That was our family tradition. The grandfather bought He bought our tickets, and we all went together as a family. Then my dad started driving, and we started building cars. And then the second I could turn 18, I started driving myself. So I did the driving thing, and social media was starting to come up online. And in 2010, that's when I started my original channel, which most people don't know I had an original channel. It was just called All for Him Racing. And really what that was partially boredom. I also had family that was out of town, so they kind of wanted to say, hey, what are you guys doing? How's the builds coming? How'd the event go? So we just started filming ourselves. Just here's what we're building, here's what we're doing, here's the events that we're running. And then it started to be, originally it was a heat, like here's my dad's heat, here's my heat, and that's all we did. Then we did the whole event. And then, this is a neighboring county, we're just going to go film that. And then it slowly just started to grow and go from there.
So you actually started this for family.
Yeah, I mean, really, kind of that was one of the main reasons, was just to kind of to get it out there. And then also, I've always been a creative, like an artistic type person, and I saw social media and YouTube and stuff as something that seemed kind of cool and new, and I saw the potential in it. And so I kind of grabbed the reins and ran with it too. So it originally started, with more of a family mindset, and then people were watching from other places. I'm like, I didn't realize that people over in Utah actually cared about what I was building over here in Ohio.
I think you've grasped the concept of, if it's a Derby guy, they don't give a shit. They want to watch it. So
and back when I started, there was only like 3 other Derby YouTubers, and that was it. So I was like number 4. That I knew of at the time that was actually making content for Derby guys, and only one of them still exists, which is Demolition Missions. Some guys might know him, Mitch, he's south of me now. We were like one of the first 2 guys, and then it's pretty wild about how the last few years, especially post-COVID, how many people have now started to get into it, and it's like, it's been a 16-year journey of doing content for Derbies, and people don't realize it's like, that's a long time.
16 years? Wow.
Yeah, so, they say if you make it past 5 years, you're doing something right, and I didn't even know what I was doing after 5 years. So, I didn't have anybody really to compare against, and I just looked at non-Derby channels and people like, like Vice Grip Garage and those guys who, when they were in their early days, watching what they were doing and saying, well, we can do that for Derby. And now I've since morphed to my main niche is filming events, getting everything that happens on the track. I lost a lot of my shop time because now I'm traveling and doing this, but It's because I just had some people asking me yesterday, like, hey, why don't we see any build videos? It's like, I am, just because I'm not building. So I'm hoping that is one thing I'd like to be able to do, is to try to slow down a little bit. I think I've figured out where my limits are, and I've been slowly trying to pull back a little bit, and I'd like to spend a little bit more time in the shop. And if it's not Derby stuff, maybe it's some rat rods or something, but to kind of get the build outlet, but still keep doing all the stuff that I'm doing when it comes to video.
Well, what's crazy is that usually anybody who starts with not so much a YouTube channel, but like promoting and pay-per-view stuff, they usually do it kind of for a purpose of, I'm going to say maybe a little vengeance, or you son of a bitch, I'll show you. I can do this too. But you were one of the first ones, so that was null and void for you.
I think I still had the same thoughts, but it was just setting goals against myself. I didn't really have people. I had a few guys that maybe had a little bit more of a following than me or whatever, but it really, I set a goal and I just wanted to achieve it. And I've always been a very goal-oriented person, so I was just in competition with myself, and the results kind of are just where they landed. But I don't know. It's interesting how it's just changed and morphed over the years, because now it's not. It wasn't never fully about me, but now it's not about me, and that's
Correct.
become even more exciting. Is I got people that will come up and say, "Hey, you captured the last time that I ran." Now I get to show my grandson my last Derby, and have those memories. And it's like I never even thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just went, filmed the Derby, posted it, went to the next one.
You never think in the heat of the moment is what I would say, is that you never think about memories and how what you do can fill somebody's memories. You don't think about that when you're videoing.
Nope.
Not a clue.
Just life being what it is, people have passed away. Things have happened. They can't Derby anymore, but I captured the times that they did. And, so I think as the last few years have progressed, especially, it's become something way bigger than myself and anything I ever dreamed that it would be. And now it's about capturing the memories for the drivers. And it's one of those things where, like, I'm at the point where I want to start stepping back and slowing down a little bit just because I, again, figured out where my limits are. But it's so hard when I know that I'm making a difference. Even if somebody never comes up and says it, you still know.
Mm-hmm.
And you do the right, it's like do the right thing regardless. And so that's how it's become and more for me.
So first question is, I don't know if you'll know this off the top of your head. All the videos that you do throughout the year, now we're not talking Throwdown TV or nothing like that you're
just
part
for
of
my
now.
brand, yep.
Just for your brand. How many hours of video are taking a year?
Oh, I don't honestly know the answer to that.
Put them on the spot.
I can tell you that it's somewhere around 600 videos on YouTube a year, times an average of 10 minutes.
Holy
and then
shit.
you get your features that last an hour. Gosh, I don't know. I'm filling up probably about 4 terabytes worth of video every year, just in footage.
So for the dumb people like me, if you sit there and say 600 videos, you're not talking drive time, equipment costs.
Nope.
Editing time, and I'm gonna guess the editing time is probably overtakes everything.
It's a lifestyle to do what I do. Like it's become kind of a non-negotiable if you want to be able to keep at the pace that I'm doing, to where I have a full-time job outside of this, and we can touch on that if you ever wanted. But I have a full-time job outside of this. Then I come home and I'm a dad and a husband. We're taking care of the house. We're doing what we need to. The little kids go to bed around 8:30, and I pull out the laptop. And I'm working on the laptop until 11 o'clock or whenever my body decides it's time for bed.
And this is every day?
Practically every day. Except maybe the weekends it's a little lax, but my wife could tell you it's kind of like the guys who go to the gym all the time. It's not that I'm saying, am I going to edit videos, or I feel like editing videos tonight. I'm editing videos.
Yep.
It's a non-negotiable. So even if it's only 10 or 15 minutes, the laptop still comes out and I get something productive done. Otherwise, I just feel like I didn't do something I was supposed to. And that can take many different forms. That can be editing the event that I was just at. It could be doing Facebook Reels to try to get ahead. Right now I'm working on my hard hits video, which I'm way behind on compared to normal, but I've only got like maybe 7 or 8 hours worth of footage to get through, which maybe sounds like a lot, but it's really not. I should probably know that number because I just went through all this, but
I was going to say, because we talked at the end of 25, and you were getting ready to get your hard hits of 25 launched.
Yep. So we're, it's a case where I spend probably 150 hours trying to edit that video just to get all those clips. But it's spaced out across, multiple days and whatever. But as a rough number throughout the year, that's kind of the one I've arrived to. It's somewhere in the 100 to 150 hours to get through, get all those hits, break them up, make the montage. The only benefit is then I can use that content for a lot of other stuff. So once I've done the work, it's there forever, and I can pull in it. I'm pulling old hits from years ago, but the work was already there, filtering it through. So everything kind of builds on itself, and I love YouTube for the fact that, I mean, YouTube is still my main base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Facebook has exploded. TikTok was doing good when it actually had traction, but YouTube has always been my base, and that stuff will be there forever, which was why I picked YouTube. And people now can watch it on their smart TV. They get to pull out their phone. It's so integrated. I didn't know it at the time. It just sounded good to pick YouTube.
Correct.
And then the chance that I could maybe make a little bit of residual income to kind of offset those costs.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I mean, travel right now is crazy.
Oh,
The gas, the hotels, you're experiencing it. You're getting a taste of it. This is why people are like, hey, why are you driving home tonight? It's like, 'cause I don't want to have to pay for a hotel to take a 3-hour nap.
my gas went up $1 from when I left home, and I had almost got all the way down here, and I had to get it. It was up $1
Yep.
a gallon. I was like, man, I'm glad I brought my work car, not my truck. JM Race Engines is a new business in north central Missouri that have you covered from top to bottom for all your engine needs. Purpose-built engines with the correct amount of clearance will get you to the end of any show, whether it's your local shows or on the national level, where you can't be let down by your equipment. With top-level professional machine work to all engines, your choice of build is totally up to you. JM Race Engines will give you the confidence to push your equipment to the max while giving you your preferred horsepower to boot. From LS builds all the way to your exotic level small blocks that your imagination can only dream of, they have you covered.
But it doesn't stop there. They are also a speed shop that carries a variety of heads, carburetors, intakes, plug wires, helmets, and other safety equipment, and the best VP fuel on the market today to take you to the top. So if you're wanting mild build to wild build, let JM Race Engines help take you there.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize is how, when they get on your YouTube channel, which is All for Him Racing videos.
Yep.
While you're sitting there watching that, people aren't grasping the concept of how much work is actually behind it. And that's why I'm glad to get you on, is because now you can really kind of tell and show that you're not an average 8 to 5 guy.
No.
You're probably I'm going to say a 6 to a midnight guy.
That's
6 a.m. to a midnight guy.
Pretty close, yeah.
And what is so cool is that your job and your second job have no correlation with each other.
Yeah.
Because you're an engineer, correct?
Yeah. So Derby is totally my outlet to do something completely different than what I do for the day-to-day, and I really do enjoy that, and that keeps me motivated to keep doing it too, because it's just, you got to have the break of the monotony.
Well, do you have a really cool boss? Because I do. So if I need to be gone, even if I'm out of vacation, you come back Monday? Yeah, I'm coming back Monday. Are you, I guess, graded into that company that is willing to work with your secondary schedule?
I am very blessed that I do have support from the leadership to do what I do. I will confess most of my vacation time is spent doing Derby stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of it, but certainly a large portion of it, and that's okay. And now that people have started to see how large my following is, and some of that, it's now a talking point in meetings of like, hey, this guy over here is a celebrity. Like, I'm not a celebrity, but at least that's not how I would view myself. Like, the brand, right. I built the brand. The brand's the celebrity, not me. I'm just the man who built the brand.
You'll get because really, your brand, is Derby cars. It's not you.
No.
You're not the one in front of the camera. You're the one behind the camera.
Yep.
So
and that was on purpose. I wanted to.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to. One, partially because of the privacy. Just online people being people.
Yes.
But then also, I've never been a hey, look at me kind of person, but I always knew I could do the work and I could do what I needed to do, and so I let me put the drivers on feature, show them off. And then that actually was probably a really smart decision, because now these guys are sharing my content. They're excited. Hey, I made the hard hits, and they're sharing it to everybody.
Yep.
And It's just fun how those little things kind of come back as little blessings. You don't even realize it.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of weird is that, when we started this journey, this is what is crazy. This is episode 200.
Wow. That's awesome. Congratulations. I only made like 7 episodes in my podcast until I stopped having people that wanted to talk.
So this is 200, and we didn't start this because we wanted to be air quotations popular or, a local celebrity or whatever. That's not what we did this for.
Yeah.
We'd both been in the sport for so long. It was one of those things where we was just like, you know what? And Steven came to me and he was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? I was like, He's like, dude, you know everybody. I was like, I do know everybody, but not saying that they'll all go talk into a microphone.
Yeah, it's funny. You put a microphone in some of these guys, like they'll chat you up, and then all of a sudden they're like, yep, nope, just super quick answers. Like, we just talked for an hour about whatever.
Talked to an hour about bullshit, but as soon as that microphone goes in front of your face, people just clam up.
You're done, yeah.
So I really commend you on the fact that, your brand is the celebrity, but you're considering yourself not, even though you're the man behind the camera.
Yeah.
And that's why you're so down to earth, I think.
Yeah, I never wanted to be the hey, look at me kind of thing. Like, you and I both have meet and greets today. I'm like, why? I don't need to do this.
Why?
Like, if you want to meet me, you want to meet me, I'm going to be walking around. I got the table. If you want to come to the table and chat, like, I love meeting people when they come up or just say thank you for the videos, because, the same thing I'm sure you see with your podcast is so much is done in a vacuum. Like I just told you what my schedule is. It's all at night. When I pull out the laptop, I'm working by myself, posting videos. I know people are watching it because the views are there, but so much is just me.
It is just
driving by myself, or even when I get to an event, everybody sees I'm busy, so they'll come and chat or whatever. But they, most of the time it's like I'm just in and out.
Well, the other cool part about it is your All For Him Racing channel has got you to be a part of Throwdown TV.
Yeah, and that originally, it started with Track Shot and working with those guys. We were just at the same event. I said, hey, if you want to tap into my camera, feel free. Just give me a transmitter. I'm here filming. Might as well use it. And then we just found this great partnership. And then, they branched out to doing the pay-per-view under Throwdown. And they're just great guys. Great guys who are all about Derby, true Derby guys for Derby, and having fun. We're taking it serious, doing what we need to do because it is a pay-per-view. People are paying money, but we're, it's just fun to work with guys who have a similar passion and are upstanding guys.
And what is crazy is that I would have never, in my wildest dreams, ever thought that Fatty would be really pay-per-view stuff.
Yeah.
Because he kind of fell into that free 99 and Track Shot Live, his personality and stuff.
And the thing I want to say is, like, there's still a great place for that, but there are just some events that they have to make enough money from the seats and the pay-per-view in order to make it a justifiable event. Otherwise, they can't do it. And so, I would say my fans get more worked up about a pay-per-view than I've ever did, or the events that I couldn't film because there was a pay-per-view. It's like, oh, hey, they have their business. I'm going to still show up and film the things that I want to film. And luckily, I'm at the point where I get to kind of do a little bit of both.
We really transitioned from just regular podcast stuff, and we were going to the shows, and whether it's local shows or national level events, and we were just kind of meeting the people and not really doing a whole lot. So we started doing the reels.
Yeah.
And I've got my ass chewed. Why are you just doing a clip? Why are you just doing a 30-second clip? Why don't you do the whole show? I was like, well, you can get that.
Yeah, and that in itself was a skill set to get used to. I mean, people don't realize how you just have to stand there. Like if they're tapping, the camera's still rolling, and I'm still there filming. If it's pouring down rain, somebody's got to be there to capture it. And I don't mind it. It's fun, but there are some derbies where, like, I'm looking at the watch, like, all right, guys, let's get this done. Let's get this done.
We're an hour and 40 in. I'm over this.
Yeah. Now I know the event we're at here, we're gonna rock and roll, and we're gonna be out of here. So it's gonna be.
That's what is cool is when they're really all one and dones. That changes everything because
I agree.
I am different than you is because I have probably, say, we're on the wall tonight, and I might have 200 clips.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just hold record and record all of it and then break it down because I was finding myself too long to edit to get it out. Because what's everybody's main goal when you're doing a reel or you see a badass hit? You want to be the first one.
Yep. You want to be the first one and you want to get all the attention. Yep.
Online, so everybody's sharing your stuff. Then your followers go up. And then they see, hey, All For Him Racing, they got a YouTube channel.
Yeah. And
Bingo.
And I will also say that, I've had good luck with, I might not be the first, but you're going to have the highest quality version of it.
That is correct. Because what's your video, like 17 million megapixel or something like that?
No, I'm running. My camera is a 4K camera, but I don't film in 4K. I have it stepped down, but it's
okay.
Like every bit as crisp and clear. So most people's devices wouldn't even be able to tell. It's just, it looks nice and cherry.
It does. I can sit home in my chair, and I can go to my YouTube, and I can go to my subscriptions, and I can go right to All For Him Racing, and I can sit there and I could watch something from the time I get home to the time I go to bed, and I'll never see the same shot twice.
Nope.
That is what's awesome.
Yep.
Hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, like on YouTube, I did look at a few stats, but I've got 4,400 videos up there now.
4,400 videos and how many subscribers?
We're at just over 61,000. 61,000 subscribers on there, and then we got even more on the Facebook and all the other. Facebook is crazy. It took off this past year.
So that is what people don't realize is if you don't think that this sport really isn't in the forefront of all that corporate bullshit, such as NBA, NASCAR, NFL, that's all corporate. That's all corporated stuff.
I can tell you that I have more followers than the corporate accounts on some of those things.
Bingo. So
it's just
this sport in the forefront with everything that everybody is doing, whether it's you or Throwdown TV or DerbyNation.tv or We Crash TV.
We're all offering our own flavor to it, and there's too many events too. I mean, that's the other thing. I know you've mentioned that on the podcast before. And I say that in that I wish I could do more, but I can't. The busiest season I ever did, I filmed 49 events, and that was in 21. And I realized that was the limit. That burned me out so much. And I still said no to shows that year. Mm-hmm. There were some county fairs that I was just like, nope, I worked all day. I just
not
making it. So I think now I say I've slowed down, but I still did like 37 shows last year, 36 or 37.
Well,
but it feels slower because I know I said no to a lot more.
Yes, that's what's crazy is when people will ask me, if we're in Utah or whatever, and somebody will say, "Well, how many shows have you been to this year?" Well, working or just been to? Because that in my scenario, that's two different aspects, not yours. I mean, you can, I'm sure, go to a local show and be able to sit there with your family and watch the event.
Yep.
But is there part of your brain that's like, man, I should be on the dirt?
All the time.
Is it?
All the time. And that's honestly one of the hardest things is I get to see so many of my good friends go out there and have a blast. And I'm standing there filming it. Now, I have been very fortunate to give some shout-outs like Josh Decker out there in New York. Him and their crew out there spinning wheels put me in a car a couple times. That was awesome. But I'm never the guy to ever ask for that.
Correct.
Because I don't want to take it. I never want to feel like I'm taking advantage of the opportunities that have come my way. Like I've had people offer to build me cars, but I would never reach out to them and say, "Yeah, let's do it." It's more of if they toss me the keys and say you're doing it, then okay, let's talk.
Yep.
So those are weird moments too, because you don't want to offend them either. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, this isn't why I
built you a car.
Like this isn't why I did this.
Yes.
It's like I'm not asking for it, but it doesn't mean I'm not grateful. It's just that's just me. I try to be as humble of a person as I can be.
Now on the personal life, the kids, the wife, do they all kind of know, hey, Daddy's going to be gone?
Yep.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hopefully he'll be home sometime Saturday.
Yep. I keep them informed on the schedule. They do come to some events. certainly local ones, but then some of the bigger ones, we'll bring them along. We'll camp. They'll watch the booth for me and hang out, and that way I can be filming and still be selling merch and all the things you got to do when you get a bigger brand. And I love the fact that we get to do that together. And I think now the younger kids are getting older. My youngest is now 6, so we can now, I think, start to do even more.
Because that 6-year-old now is going to be in that fun mode.
Yeah, well, now he's in Power Wheels.
Or
so
he's running around like a crackhead.
Yeah. Exactly. So, they're getting it. They're into it. I want to make sure, though, that they go to things that they want to go to, because I've seen the other side of Derby, which is where every year they're forcing their family to go, and you can tell they're forcing them. That was the last thing I ever wanted to have to do to my kids. They know I'm ingrained in this community and everything, but it's not something that they have to do.
Gotcha.
And I love that my wife is willing to stay back and has no problem, making sure everything is running smooth at home and allows me to do it. And I would say that All For Him Racing wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for my wife. She was honestly one of the main reasons that I ran out and started filming more stuff. We started having a little bit of success, and again, a little bit more financial kickback in like the fall of 2018. And then we talked over the winter and made the game plan. I'm going to hit more events. I'm going to drive farther than I've gone before, and let's see what happens. And that's when suddenly we got on the radar. And 19 was really the turning point year for the channel and everything. And that's when we started working with TrackShot, and everything just took off from there.
And what is crazy is that I call them civilians, the ones that aren't at the shows, the ones that they all think all these creators are making so much money. Yeah. Oh, you guys are making a killing. You guys, just 200 episodes. I was like, guys,
it goes right back into the business.
Yes,
like,
if you all knew.
It's helped pay for some stuff, to let the kids do a few extra activities and things like that over the years, but it's primarily been reinvested into travel, the equipment, tools needed, derby cars, parts, pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like I try to do everything at the speed of cash that I can, and that's just how a lot of that stuff came to be.
And that's not what people realize. I mean, one thing people don't realize is, I'm not trying to dig too deep, but what's a camera like you use cost?
Sure. So the rule of thumb that I came up with was I will spend to a certain dollar amount that I'm willing to go and spend next weekend if I broke it. For me, that's around $2,300. So my nice camera is $2,300. And that was the max that I was willing to travel with and spend. Now, I have a nicer cinema camera that I just bought for doing other non-derby related stuff or stuff in the studio. But yeah, as far as that, but it didn't start that way. I started with just a little handheld Panasonic camera that was 1080p and used that for years. Mm-hmm. Then moved into a nicer Canon and then stepped up to what I am now.
That's one, like I said, that's just that one thing that people don't realize is when you go to a show, whether it's here, whether it's in, Maple City, Ohio, anywhere, they don't realize when you're going somewhere what it takes to get there, what it takes to get home. Mm-hmm. Said equipment, fuel, hotels, camping.
Just personal coordination.
Yes.
If we need sitters for this or the dogs need to go, and it's all the little things, but you're doing it practically every weekend.
Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for Demolition Derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with 0 limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's. So is there anything from the time you really started to today, is there anything that you would want to change or maybe have any regret behind?
I don't regret any of the decisions. I think the only thing I would say is be careful the standards you set for yourself, because then you kind of have to live up to that. And in that case, that's not so much the quality of the content, it's how many events I go to and things like that. I think people don't yeah, the burnout is very real. It's not that I've been burned out, but I've teetered on that edge, right? To where, okay, I need to slow down. I need to take a little bit of time. Personal goal this year is what I'm calling smell the roses. I'm traveling, doing these events. I can take an extra half hour, go drive by something of note. Like I was just in Mississippi 2 weeks ago. I went to the Shiloh battlefields and just kind of drove around and looked at stuff. I made the trip. I don't need to be just at the Derby. I can actually do that. And that's where I want to be able to bring the family more often, I think, in the future. And we certainly plan to. So we can do that stuff together.
See, that's the difference between Steven and I, is because Steven is one of them, hey, let's leave in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Thursday night, drive, and then go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Here, come to work.
Yep.
Where I am, dude, I'd like to go on Thursday, enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we don't really get to enjoy. Now, you go to Rapid City, South Dakota, there's downtime, there's dead time. Yeah, you can go to Deadwood, or you can go to Crazy Horse, or, Mount Rushmore, something like that. But not every place is that destination Derby.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. And I am just as guilty as everybody else to do that. I'll show up an hour and a half before the event starts, get set up, film the thing, and then I'm racing everybody out the door. I just want to go home and either edit or go to bed or whatever. And I think part of that is how I find the balance. If I spent too much time hanging out and chatting with people, I probably wouldn't be able to keep it as sustained.
You don't think you can get it back that fast?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe that's something that we need to figure out.
There's a balance. I mean, there's a balance, but that's why I like these bigger shows where it's a 2-day event. That morning, on the second day, I actually get time to talk to people. Like you and I having time to talk right now. If it was a standard show, I'd probably be out filming or already have left.
Well, dude, what's next for you? Do you have something to look forward to the future, or do you just think you're going to keep on riding this thing?
Well, certainly keep on riding the thing. I'm just being honest and transparent with you here. It's I'm running out of things to prove. I've set the goals that I set some pretty lofty goals for myself, and I've pretty much hit them all, to be honest. The following on Facebook was, I just wanted to get over 100, and now I'm well past that, and the last goal that I really have that's out there is I'd love to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and get that play button that I can have up, because talking back to my Derby years, I have no idea what I won prize money wise. But my kids see the trophies every time they walk into the office, So to me, to have something, after all those years of effort, to have something I can hang on the wall to actually show what I did, because there's no recognition that comes with this, and that's okay. That's not the point. But it would be nice that if I do start to hang up what I'm doing or slow down a lot, to actually have something to remember the efforts that I put in, other than just going online and seeing it.
I mean, that's the thing about us, is that, everybody that we have kind of incorporated with us, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody. We've got you, and you're everywhere, and then we have Derby Nation on board with us too. So that's really two OGs that we really look up to for doing what you have done. And now you're progressing is along with everybody else, and that is what is so cool. So every post that I make on Thursday morning when the episode comes out, that's why everybody is tagged in those. So if you've never heard of All for Hims Racing, or you've never heard of DerbyNation.tv, somebody might see that and they're like, hey, what is that? What's that hashtag?
Yeah.
And then, we're going to follow them. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
He's got a YouTube channel. Let's go over there.
Next thing you know, you're watching and binging, and I mean, that's
you're 3 days deep and seeing front ends just getting overhauled.
Yeah. The other comment I've heard people make is just I'm so far off ahead than everybody. There's never too late for these guys to start. They have so many tools that are available to them that I couldn't have even dreamed of, when I started. But also remember, I started all this 16 years ago. There's guys that are making content that aren't even 16 yet. I was already out there filming and doing stuff. So just remember, it's I've had that long to get the skill set that I've got. I'm very much a student of anything that I'm in. I become kind of obsessive, so to speak, because I want to take it serious and do the best that I can. And so, lots of research, which always bugs me when people copy paste my stuff. I spent a long time figuring out how to word, what to include, and that kind of stuff. And that's fine. I mean, I get it. Copying is kind of a form of flattery, right? So, and it's to be expected. Somebody was asking me questions yesterday, and one of the questions was, do I consider myself like an OG? I would never say that I'm an OG. I would never personally say it, but I think I can personally state that I established the standard to which most people measure themselves in the social media side of Derby.
That's
and
an OG.
That is, well,
that's an original gangster, Alex.
It was just me being true to what I wish would have been available when I was first starting. I created what I wish was there, and I'm glad that I get to be that for other people.
Well, is there anything that people need to know what you have coming up for 2026?
Just hang on for the ride. So the only thing I can say is, people ask how can they help. You just watch the content. Subscribe, follow, all the things, but watch the content. That's the best thing you can do for me. If you want to just be working in the shop, you have a TV, and you're like, I don't know what to put on one of my videos. You're gonna see some action. I'm gonna hopefully be at an event that you never could get to yourself, and just watch it. That is the best thing you can possibly do, and that's the only thing I'd ask. And also just want to say thank you for all the people who have followed me over the years. It's really cool when people reference a car that I built in 2012 or something, and it's like, wow, you've been following me for a very long time, and I don't even know what to say other than thank you. That is awesome, because if it wasn't for people watching the content, I wouldn't get to be here and do what I do.
That right there, that's a really good stopping spot. We've got some meet and greets that we have to go do.
Yep.
This isn't going to launch till next Thursday, but if you don't get to take the time to watch Bourbon Beatdown this weekend, if you're not here, make sure to go back to Throwdown TV. Yep. You can get signed in. You can watch a replay. There'll be reels going all week long.
If you don't know about Bourbon Beatdown by the end of this weekend, I don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
and be here. I mean, these guys are top notch. They're very respectable people in the Derby world, and I'm just happy that I get to play my part to help them out.
Is it Bourbon Redemption in October?
Yes.
That is correct. So that will be a team show setting. So if you don't catch this one, make sure you come back early October. Team show, 2-man team show, and it's going to be off the hook as normal.
Absolutely.
Well, Alex, I appreciate your time, sir, and let's go do some meet and greets.
Yes, sir.
All right. DerbyNation.tv is your one-stop shop for your Demolition Derby pay-per-view needs. With a schedule like no other, you can catch all the shows you want to watch at the touch of a button from the comfort of your living room without leaving your house. But pay-per-view derbies aren't the only thing that they can get you. You can also carry a monthly subscription to watch the ever-growing Derby Builds, where you get all the behind-the-scenes action on different build processes with the Derby Builds team, including team show cars and even some national-level youth builds.
And if you can't make it to that big show in person, go ahead, host that shop watch party, and let DerbyNation.tv bring excitement of Demolition Derby action straight to your shop live on your TV. Part 2, my friends.
Part 2 after a long, long drive home.
And you still beat me to the office.
And I still ain't home. Oh, thank you, Alex. And if you guys caught that first half of the interview while I was actually there, Alex has been on board with us for a long time. It's kind of one of them unspoken deals. we push him, he pushes us.
100%.
All his videos has our logo on it.
Well, and it's super hard not to promote somebody like him.
Correct. Even when I talked to him, he was like, man, some people say I'm an OG. I was like, dude, you are. You are one of the OGs.
Go back and look, and you start looking at derby videos that weren't recorded off somebody's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all for him.
Yeah. Since his main channel was 2012. So he has been 13, 14, 15 years. That makes you an OG. Sorry, bro.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, well, he has been in it since the big changes. And I use the air quotations with that. Mm-hmm. Since derbying, like, really, really took off in that, the builder, the products you could get, the big shows really coming to light.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, Blizzard Bash has been around for, 2 years at that point?
Yeah. The first original one was in 9.
Yeah. So
I think. That was before it even went to Topeka, because it went to Topeka in 12. Is that right?
Don't make me lie to you.
I think Topeka's was 12, and then, yeah.
Yeah, 11 or 12, somewhere.
Son of a bitch, it's been a long time.
That's what I'm saying. Whew. But, yes, dude's fucking badass at what he does.
Word.
He hooked me the fuck up.
The time that he puts into doing what he does, there's not enough hours in the day.
Well, I don't think people understand the amount of editing he does.
Every night.
Yeah.
So
I have trouble unlocking my cell phone.
Here's the deal. So I came back on Sundays when we're here. He had videoed for Throwdown TV all week.
Uh-huh.
He's going to go home and edit all that, and it will take him weeks to edit 2 days. So he's going to take weeks to edit 2 days and then get you your
hardest hit reel.
Reel that he's going to
highlight reel.
Yes.
That's what's badass about what he does. It's fucking phenomenal, because anybody that's watched his videos, that shit flows.
Yep.
It doesn't look like a hard edit.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is cut and replaced images and videos that he has done all of the videoing of.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hats off to that dude.
I don't even like going back 30 seconds, just doing 30-second clips, looking at the 30-second clips.
Dude.
Because then you forget.
Dude. Whenever I first started posting our reels, like whenever we first found out that was something that people were wanting to watch on, our side.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've always prided ourselves in instant big hit reel immediately. As soon as it happens, it goes on our page.
Yep.
We don't video full heats, but whenever we first started doing this, that's what we were doing.
You were doing the full heats.
Yeah.
You were doing the full heats, and I was going live.
Yeah.
Well, you can't stop a live.
No.
Try to pull a clip out of there, put it. Then you were having to stop after
Yeah,
heat, go back. Oh, man, when did that happen?
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
I'm like,
So that's whenever we kind of regrouped on all of our stuff, and we found out that as soon as you watch something cool happen, you stop.
Now.
Yes. Because, there was at a point where that's all my camera roll was.
Mm-hmm.
It was derby video after derby video, and I'm at work or at home trying to edit this shit and hating life, not wanting to do it. And finally, I'm like, fuck it. I just deleted it.
And by the time you upload it,
everybody else
you've already seen everybody else has posted it and shared it.
Yeah. So at that point, I might as well just share somebody else's stuff.
That'd be right.
Ace Performance. With years in the sport of demolition derby, Jeremy and his family-ran business have changed the game right there in Bowling Green, Missouri. All products for your fresh build or to fix your older build. They got you. Radiators, check. Wheel and tire combos, check. Distributor clamps, plug wires, check. Fuel cells, cradles, check. It would be a lot shorter list of what they don't carry than what they do. If you find yourself in need of parts, reach out to Ace Performance on Facebook. They've got you covered.
Dudes, let's just get to it. Bourbon Beatdown 2026, Louisville, Kentucky.
Hell yeah. Well, hold on. Before we jump into that, Derek and I are always keeping secrets from each other. He picked up some stuff for me in Kentucky.
Yeah, that fit in my car.
It did. It wasn't like I bought a rear end or something, didn't tell him, but
Nope, I just hauled a door strap for somebody back.
but I got a drone while he was there.
Shirt,
A shirt, a box of candy bars.
and a box of candy bars. That is correct.
So
I was a hungry son of a bitch yesterday afternoon. I almost broke into him.
I wouldn't have gave two fucks.
I
you
know,
this.
but it was a basic principle. It's like a briefcase. It's got a handle and shit.
Dude, that was for E, man.
It was. He was pretty heartbroken Friday night. He went out doing his normal shit.
Equipment failure, man. It happens.
That dumb shit can happen on a power wheel. But he wasn't the only one.
But on the flip side of that, we know E-Man's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he might as well be a NASCAR driver at this point because he had a backup car.
He does have a backup one, but that's it. Because he's going to age out this year, so he said he wasn't going to go too elaborate and does another one that he doesn't already have, just because it's going to be. If Mama Bear has anything to do with it, I don't know if he'll get into a car. I hope she doesn't shoot me for that, but
yeah, because he listens.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
you better watch
Except
out.
for Thursday night when I told him, Everett, don't eat shit. He's running around on the trailer. Everett, don't eat shit. You hear a thump. I'm okay.
My shirt fell. That sounded louder than normal. No, I was still in it. Oh, well, before we jump into bourbon, we want to wish all of our homies good luck in Vegas.
Yes.
And I'm honestly praying for rain on Wednesday because if it rains me out over the week, I'm going to fucking fly out there.
Hold on. This prick said I might not even fly to Heber this year because of the last fiasco from Miami. I haven't looked at.
Hold on. In my defense, and I knew that was going to come up, so I already had a rebuttal to this shit. In my defense, as long as I can get on the fucking ground in Vegas and that shit happens again, I can catch a fucking ride home.
That you can.
Yeah, there is a backup plan. There was nobody.
You can get in somebody's bed of a pickup.
Guaranteed. I'll ride in a fucking car. I don't care. You know me. Stowaway, boy.
Well, bourbon.
Let's talk about it.
I went down on Thursday just to try to.
Enjoy
because we've
your
talked
time.
about it, enjoy it a little bit because it's like, you know, you either drive all night long or you leave late after work. You get there, you check in, and then you go right to work.
Yeah, and then you come home and you throw your shit back in a suitcase and you go to fucking work again.
So I went down Thursday, hung out with, you know, one of our sponsors,
Oh, yeah.
Ace Performance. Kind of watched them through their whole process because we weren't really sure how that tech process was going to go. I mean, you got told,
dude,
on the live, 45-minute, and you need to be back in line. I
can tell you right now that wasn't the full determining factor in me not going.
But it had a big part in it.
It had part of it. Everybody that knows me, they know that I show up and usually make it right through tech. Mm-hmm. This car was not that way.
Well, it's not going to be that way.
Not even a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So was I a little leery of dragging a car 6-7 hours to get it, make me leave it on the trailer?
Yep.
Yes, I was. Was I also leery about the motor that was going to have to go inside car? Yes, 100%. But let's hear about it. Tell us about the tech.
So Thursday night, I kind of sit there and I was watching. Jeremy was the first one to go through. They put a little piece of duct tape and wrote a time. You had 45 minutes from that time to be back in the tech area. So there was guys back in the trailer waiting.
See, that's right there is when I would have started running off my time as soon as I left that tech area.
Sometimes your time doesn't work all the time. Not if you have an extradited time. Hey, 7:42, you got to be back.
But my watch.
My watch said 8:17. So Jeremy was the first one through. He goes out. Tucker was the second one. Then Weston. Then they did a smart thing because Mr. Dale Colbert,
Right.
They all kind of built together for this show and everything like that. So what Dale did, he changed his spot of line. He pulled it over. He didn't go on the lift. He went out to help the other ones, and then he came back. So in turn, when Dale went through tech and came out, the other 3 cars were done so they could help him.
Right.
That's kind of how that teammate shit works.
Well, and not even teammate. Like, whenever you go to something like that and you're not taking a full-blown pit crew with you, and you have other buddies that are running in that show, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You've got to jump in and help.
So,
Especially with a time restriction of 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Fuck it, I'll just cut the car in half. You good?
They had to do some cutting. That's some of that rule discrepancy, what you kind of read and what you don't.
I haven't talked to Jeremy yet. I will be calling him tomorrow, but I guarantee you it's the same shit we talked about before they headed down there. And I guarantee it was the same shit I was going to do to my car.
Yeah. So they got through tech. It was all good. And we were all kind of just sitting on the trailers bullshitting. And Miss Casey cracked a little bottle and she started cooking dinner. She had burgers and dogs and stuff going on. And a lot of the guys, they want to get their shit put up.
Oh, yeah.
Before the night. So, I'm sorry I'm even going to tell this story, but I'm sitting on a trailer and I hear dong, and I heard, God damn.
Oh, no.
I turned around and I said, what was that? And Lane is carrying an argon bottle
Oh, shit.
that he done bounced off of Jeremy's dome.
Oh. It's a wonder Lane got to run.
Oh, my.
Ah, damn, Friendly Fire was not Jeremy Baker's friend this weekend.
It was not. Friendly fire, family fire, it didn't matter. And Miss Andrew was sitting there, and I told her, I was like, I need a camera at your all's house. She said, Derek, it's like this every day. Every single day. But Jeremy, he had a hell of a week. He's got a big old goose egg on his dome from an argon bottle. He tried to bite the side of his tongue off, and
God damn it, Dale.
Friday night, they started out with the stockish. Wow. And wow. That's one thing that we noticed going down there last year, dude.
People realize how fucking hard those stockish cars are.
Correct.
That is more of a build than what you think.
Yep.
That is not a hobo class.
No. The only thing hobo about it
This is the motor.
is the motor, the tranny, and the rear end.
Yes.
But the build itself isn't. He gives you a little bit.
A lot of it.
A lot of it compared to what we're used to.
Yes.
And of course, 18 and a half, Mr. Daryl Monroe
Oh, yeah.
got that dub in that class on Friday night. And I even talked to Daryl. I said, after 2024 watching you at King of Ohio, I said, I've never saw you in anything but a full weld car, like at Blizzard Bash or Carnage. And he was like, man, he said, with the in that Kentucky accent, it's grandbabies, man, grandbabies. He said, I kind of want to be done. He said, I've been a roofer all my life. He said, I hurt when I get out. And he said, that's why I don't do the mod stuff no more, is because I hurt too much. He said, so I get in these things. Well, all his experience and building and driving, I mean, we've watched 2 stockish shows with him running, and I've seen him winning both.
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, we know the dude's no joke. He can drive.
Word.
Word. He can. He and has fun driving. Like he's having a good time the whole time he's in the car.
Yes. And then for some reason birds were migrating towards Kentucky. From Pennsylvania and Ohio. And
Did you get to look at some of them? Like, I mean, I'm not asking if you crawled over them and under them, but can you explain to our listeners that the difference between those birds and like
normal birds?
Yeah.
The problem is there was Steve ran Friday night, and I think he was the only bird on Friday night, but there was 4 on Saturday night.
Correct.
McKillips
Yep.
was on Saturday night. We saw him at Bristol. I talked to him, and I said, "Hey, man, I just got to ask." I was like, we saw you at Bristol just go full tilt stupid. Am I going to see that tonight? He said, there's a very good possibility. He said, because you see what I'm running against. And I'm not going to say Steve had a walk in the park on a Friday on that one and done at all, because he didn't. But Saturday, those names were just more loaded up. Mm-hmm. Friday was kind of that fly under the radar. You know, you had Jeremy Baker and Dale Colbert, Steve Siopa, Cam Penwell. So there was some names, yes, that kind of catch your eye when you read them. But Saturday was on a whole different level of stupid. Congratulations to Kid Wonder Boy. 14 years old, got him a win Friday night. And it's not like he had easy road to do it.
Oh, you don't think that was just...
I mean, we kind of know the game plan. You got a wagon. Somebody's going to try to park in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened. Jeremy tried to park in it.
Uh-huh.
Dale was trying to park in it.
Uh-huh.
But what made them, I think everybody realized he wouldn't let you get to the front of that son of a bitch.
Right. Well, and that's what you've got to do with wagon.
Track was big enough.
Oh, yeah.
Even with the 18, 20 cars on it Friday night, the track was big enough to move it around. Saturday, well, you know, Steve takes Bubba Eaton and folds his car like a banana. Steve tried to eject Ocido. Anybody can go back and look at the video. Mafia TV's got an in-car of that one as well, so you can see the impact. Bubba, I got told, somebody said he broke his leg. Spoke to Critter on yesterday, and Critter said he does not have a broken leg, but he's going to have a pimp limp for a couple days. So
well, that's good, though. Yeah. It is.
You know, if you've got a guy that's getting to the end of his career, you don't want to see him go out like that. Period.
Well, and man, those hits.
Because if you sit there and if you look at the reel that I posted, it looks like it is a straight up passenger's door shot. It is not. That is a beak in the firewall, right in the fucking door seam.
Yep. And the way it shifted his cage over, like that's where you know it grabbed meat.
Yep.
You know, like whenever Chad hit mine and pushed it over, like it moved the cage, but it was different because I wasn't allowed rear down tubes.
Correct.
So I mean,
yeah.
Like it had.
There's nothing to hold it there from shifting.
The next thing that was going to stop it was my tank protector and the wheel well. Yep. Like I mean, you know, as far as like solid ground, and that's about, you know, I mean, where it flexed, that was where it was headed.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that whole, you know,
holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, I ate a little bit of the center bar, but it didn't move. Like it moved more sheet metal on mine than anything. Whenever you hit something with down tubes front and back, and it shifts a cage like that, the driver took every bit of it.
Was it, was as detrimental as, you know, Adam hitting that old boy?
Well, no, because you
in
didn't have something
15
solid on the other side of it.
Correct. There was enough flex. That's
Well, yes, and
Yeah.
that's another reason everybody can call me a pussy. I don't give a fuck. I would rather run a softer car because of that.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like they were like, "Oh, I bet size fucking sore as shit." Whenever he got out of my car up there at Madison, I was like, "I bet not." The car was moving. I mean, it bent front and back, and every time he'd hit, it was going up on either end. So I mean, it was moving somewhere. You're not taking it. Whenever that shit doesn't move, that's when it fucking hurts. Trust me, I've been there.
Oh, the old compact days.
Oh, well, that 03 of Trey's. You hit the front of that bitch nose to nose, and it wiggles. It vibrated. It didn't even wiggle. It vibrated. The people in the driver's and passenger seat was taking all of it.
So here's they had the two Enforcer cars. The OG Enforcer car was at the opposite end of the track where they come down the tunnel. Same old boy, I think, was in one of them maybe last year. He was in it, and we were bullshitting. And after that, he said, "Dude," he said, I can't even remember. He didn't get called out just a couple times. He hit somebody, and he come back and he told me, he said, "Dude," he said, "that shit rung my bell of me hitting them."
Yeah.
He said, and I didn't even feed it to him hard.
Right.
He said, that shit's harder than what I figured they were bringing to the table. Because when you watch Siopa hit the amount of people that he hit, I understand a lot of them are 45s. He wasn't really nosing people up, but he was doing severe damage.
No, he was using an imp how you're supposed to use an imp.
He did not ever go stupid. He made sure his wheels were straight. He pointed that bitch in a line. Same way with an 03. What happens with an 03? Some motherfuckers trying to cut that bitch around like a 98 to 02, and then they rip everything out from under it.
Yep. And a bird's the same way.
Yep.
The steering on them is terrible.
Line up and shoot.
The fucking leaf packs. I mean,
I don't know whose leaf Steve has for his, or he builds them their own. I don't know, but it did have arch in them. They were not flat to start
I know.
with.
You can see it.
And you can watch it just keep arching and arching and arching, and it never blow the shackles out of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Nothing. So
the only thing that was doing was getting the car taller.
And it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you tired of your compact going into limp mode? Are you tired of watching everyone run circles around you at national level shows? If you are, do something about it.
LMMF Simplified Wiring is the only way to go. With tuned DCMs and simplified harnesses, Ryan has made everything simple for you. Just plug and play. With next level customer service backing up a great product, why not join the winning side? They will get you wired. So you can visit www.lmmfsimplifiedwiring.com or find them on Facebook to get you started.
And enough about compacts. They also do LS stuff. So for big or small needs, hit them up. Crucify me if you want. I don't care. Those were some of the best looking birds that I've seen hit a track in a minute.
I don't know if it was the crease job. I don't know if it was the flat black. I don't know. I mean, the bumpers that he chose.
Well, it wasn't even that. I guess we're so used to seeing people not use a bird the way it's supposed to be used, that this was a show where they were finally running them. They were putting them to use like why they got outlawed.
Yeah. Yeah, because you go back in the day and watch old school videos, old school border wars and shit, you're seeing 74, 5, 6 Impalas just getting fucking folded.
Murdered.
Like, y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah. Yeah.
That type of shit.
Yes, 100%.
And it's just, I don't know if they'll ever get outlawed again.
I don't either with the technology that everybody's come up with for the other cars.
Mm-hmm. But man, when they're right, them bitches are right.
They are.
And they're fun
and
to
they
watch.
look cool as fuck.
And yeah, big old fucking flat roof.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
Straight A pillars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're right.
I would say out of... I'm probably going to catch some shit over this, too. As far as pound for pound, the car that I like seeing a fucking nasty tilted up 9802. I mean, that is fucking stretched.
Like Dalen's nasty.
Tilted.
Yeah.
Ass end laid on the fucking ground.
Trunk dish to
ignorant,
like a
big
bitch.
old pointy on the front of it. And then on the old iron side, it's a fucking nasty old bird. Like, just a fucking imp doing imp stuff, looking like a fucking imp.
Yep. Yeah, and
I'm not going to say that, dude, because I've seen some badass caddies, especially with the caddy tuck where they start folding the back of it. They've got the hood sticking over the fucking core support,
all
cut,
folded down.
Shit looks tough.
Yeah.
But it's hard to beat a square ass bird.
Mm-hmm. That is creased. That is dish.
Because it looks like a Kleenex box out there.
Yeah, it does. Kleenex box with some tires on that bitch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it does. Saturday, we got to see, we got to see some more. We got to see some more birds. We got to see another one out of Sciopa Nation.
Oh yeah,
with Joey Pernice won. We got first time I've ever got to see the man in person, Mr. Tony Penwell.
Yeah,
in another clean ass wagon. Oh my God!
Now you can't tell me going into this show and which we kind of knew a little background on what was going on, but with that old school class, I knew that there was going to be wagons. I mean, we knew there was going to be wagons on wagons.
2.
Well, and the rumor was there was supposed to be 6.
Yeah, 4 or 6. And then I think the couple that were supposed to be wagons decided to bring birds.
Right.
They thought, well, that's really what threw me a curveball. I mean, I've seen Steve in a bird before, but the first time they go to Blizzard Bash, what I've seen him run at Blizzard Bash, most of the time's a wagon, or at least maybe a 2-door GM of some sort. Todd, Mark, same way. You'll watch them at the Valentine's Day Massacre down in Florida, and, they were in some nasty shit too. But Joey's was just as nasty. Except Joey pulled out the win. Drove that bitch in reverse for a long time. Started to do this kind of the same thing Steve was doing. It just started kind of folding a little bit different. I'm going to give it up right now. We had 2 young kids. Tucker Baker, Weston Dieters went down and played with the big boys.
Oh, dude.
The first big show.
Tucker drove
the
wheels off that car.
He drove the fucking nuts off of it.
Did you expect any less, though? Watch him around here.
Yeah. Well, I was fucking with him. That's kind of normalcy. And I said, hey, you're going to have to find that right pedal tonight. He's like, I'm going to bag. I was like, bitch, you ain't going to get time to bag. So they were messing with me. I said, hey, we're sitting there at the booth, and I said, you need to go to Walmart or someplace and go get a mouth guard. Weston said, I ain't a fucking pussy. He said, you might as well just give me a tampon if you're going to put me in a mouth guard. So Andrea reaches in her purse, puts one in his pocket. But they actually did. They went and got him. I think Ethan Lubrick went and he was already at the mall, so he just went and picked up a couple for him. And all these kids, they're kids. They have the best of everything that is I'm not saying they can afford it, but that's available to them.
Oh, yeah.
With the technology, whether it's a phone, a derby car, a computer,
well, and
whatever.
Like,
I said, do you want to bite your fucking tongue off, stupid? Well, I'm not a pussy. I was like, I know some bad dudes in a derby car that wear an elbow pad and a knee pad and a mouth guard because they learn the hard way. Both of them. A whoop pup. Okay.
Well, you've seen me pull in. Looking like a Serta commercial in that bitch.
Pillows.
Man, that fucking bee pillar has fucked me up.
Well, a mouth guard, yeah, it's going to keep you from biting your tongue off, but it also keeps you from getting a damn concussion. That's the main thing for them.
I prefer to just let my teeth rattle like an adult.
Well, the reason I told them, to do that, there was some friendly fire on Friday evening.
You're a dick.
I did not jinx them. So Friday, Dale Colbert actually didn't get a stick the first time. On Thursday night, and that's not normal for Dale, because I think he kind of knew what they were all going to be running against. When you see a list of names, I think that changes you a little bit. I think that changes your build style. I think that gives you that shit. We got to go, and we gotta push this. So he had a few things to cut. It wasn't major. Running the nuts off of it, and his bumper met Jeremy's driver's door. Jeremy didn't see it coming.
Jeremy come out of nowhere. In Dale's defense. I mean,
yeah.
Because we all know where Dale was headed.
That way.
Yeah.
And Jeremy didn't see it coming. He bit a chunk out of the side of his tongue. So I didn't want the boys to do the same thing. Because, I mean, sitting there watching Friday night, as a consumer, probably what you're going to be seeing on Saturday is going to be just as bad, if not worse, because of those names. You have a Joey Pernice, you have a Ty Richards, you've got a Jason Kinman, you've got a McPhillips in there, you've got a Tony Penwell in there, and this is what I gave both the boys props last night after they got out of the car, and they had a game plan and they stuck to it. Right?
That's what you
Green flag goes. Green flag drops. Where'd they go? Wagon hunting. Both of them.
Well, why not?
They showed me personally that they can drive really well as a team. Because when one was hitting in the ass and he was actually trying to get the car turned so the other one could go to the front wheels. And they worked really well together until Wesson decided to lose a control arm and deuced a Hanson slider in a couple different pieces.
And that happens.
It does. But, I'm going to give both them boys props. They both of them drove their ass off. They drove a really good race. I think Tucker ended up 7th out of 35, I think. I thought he went out in 6th, but I think Mama said 7th. And give it up to Joey, man. He sent it. And give it up to Tony Penwell's engine builder, whoever the fuck it is. You're probably going to have to go through that one. It was hot enough it caught fire and wouldn't go out. If the motor was running, it was flaming. Since 2012, GHE Transmissions has been an industry leader in the purpose-built transmission world. With endless research and development, Jarek has proved to the nation that his builds are ones at the top of the list. From aftermarket cases to turbo 400s, short or long tails, your build options are what you want them to be. Whether you want one of his OG builds or his new Spragless 2.0s, you're just one decision away from changing the game on your end. Customer service that is almost unmatched. Let GHE change your confidence in your builds and let them take you to the front of the line. Overall, killer action. Saw clutch marls on the squirrel suit taking off nuts. Taking off lug nuts. And he probably took off, I'm going to say 10. Probably a couple in a few heats and a couple cars in another few heats. So they held up to that end of the deal. And the Enforcers didn't get used a lot. Few times, maybe a heat or might skip a heat. The Australians had an absolute blast. First time they've ever got to run a little car with a bumper on them. I was talking to Shane, and Stephen was being a bully in Bristol. But that was the first time that they ever ran, a stock car with a bumper.
Right.
They all four of them sent them. Then they all four sent them on a mower. The mower guys were absolutely Jesus.
Oh yeah. That's zero surprise there.
Our guys are a different breed.
No, these dudes. There were some Ohio guys there. They kind of come out of the woodwork for this thing, and I don't know how fast they were going, but that track was 240 foot long, and I'm pretty sure I saw somebody get hit in the side from 180 foot away. In all the gear, in all the forward, in all the RPMs. Got to meet a lot of cool people. A lot of people that we've never really got to meet in person. Wreckneck Racing from Utah. They brought two-ton Tina. Tyler had an absolute blast running it. He kind of had a target on his back. When you put something out on social media, that kind of draws attention.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of knew it was coming. He says, but I'm going to have fun. And that was his main thing. He wanted to have fun. And I talked to him after he ran. He said, I had a fucking blast. Hung out with Mafia TV, Devin Schmidt, Kevin's Derby World, Throwdown guys, Tanner Longest of Multi-Demo 10, Alex Vasko, all for him racing.
You catch up with Critter?
Caught Critter. Yeah, I got a couple things in that bag over there. I'm going to give you one of them. We caught up with Critter and Miss Critter. Toast, Toby Hiley, Fatty Ticks. Everybody just, it was a good weekend to just hang out and chill. There wasn't a lot of chilling going on. Moonshine Jerry, got to kick it with him a little bit yesterday before the vendor hall closed. I got to taste some stuff that hasn't been on the show yet. And it's, whoo, buddy. I'm not going to go into what exactly it is, but if you guys watch Moonshiners, that one has been approved. Let's put it that way. So it will be out. So, guys, Vegas.
It's here.
Vegas.
It's here.
8 nasty teams. 80 singles. And only about a quarter of them I haven't heard of. The jackpots are loaded. With a DJ Adamson, an Adam Fleming. You got singles, Jared Johnson, Tyson Shelley, Brad Bowman, Casey Johnson, Marty Million, Ron McClung. The list just keep going and going. If you're not going to make that trip, if you're not going to make that flight, just like Johnny said the other day, if you are going and you don't have tickets, tickets are available there for you to purchase. You cannot get them online. This is going to be airing Thursday, so if you haven't caught 20 Wednesdays show, make sure you get on DerbyNation.tv. Go ahead and get it rented. I think you'll only be charged for 2 days, however that works out. And I just, man, I got cussed out today on the way back that I still wasn't going.
I've been catching shit all week.
Have you? You should have been catching some. Well, you caught some shit.
Right.
That's why you didn't go this week.
This is true. Yeah, I was not feeling great.
Dude, I've been up since 2 in the morning shitting my fucking brains out.
I just didn't figure that was going to be a very pleasant ride.
Not having to stop.
Nah.
30 minutes later, got to stop.
Yeah, not doing that.
Stevens rule. We only stop for gas.
True that.
Unless it's a good rest area, and then we can stop, take a piss.
Yep.
Side of the road I-70.
You got time to stop.
Yeah. But no, thanks, Alex Vasko. We're going to get through Vegas. And guess what? The week after Vegas, Spring X. They just keep coming and going and going and coming. And then I think we might get a one weekend off, and it goes right into RCR, River City Rampage. May 1st and 2nd, Terre Haute, Indiana. We, between Spring X and there, I will be making a phone call. I got that clarified this week. And we're going to break down a little bit how that RCR works from the man who puts that show on.
Hell yeah.
With some infractions. Because he does it the awesome. I think he does his awesome.
Yeah.
Got too many infractions? You can't fix that. You're loaded.
Right.
Or you got too many infractions? You don't get to fix it. You just load it. So, good luck to everybody in Vegas, man. We'll be rooting you on from the house. At least I will be. Because my fat ass has got to get back to work.
Yeah. I'll be in a hotel, I'm sure.
I haven't even looked at this week's weather.
I have. And it's not looking in my favor. I'll look at it right now.
Derek's going to be kicking it watching the Derby at his house with a homemade coconut pie.
About fucking time. Homemade sugar-free coconut pie for anybody, hating on me for being diabetic and eating the normal shit. I don't try to do that, but...
Yeah, it don't look like I'm going to get any rain until Thursday.
Looks like Steven's going to get to watch it on his phone in a truck.
Yeah. Hey, y'all go over there and get that cleaned out.
Thought you were going to help.
Yeah,
I am. Go get it.
Go over there and get that cleaned out. I'll be over in a minute. I got to go look at this other job.
Yep. So, Vegas, we'll catch you next week. Got any last words?
Nope.
Make junk, boys. Since 2012, GHE Transmissions has been an industry leader in the purpose-built transmission world. With endless research and development, Jarek has proved to the nation that his builds are ones at the top of the list. From aftermarket cases to turbo 400s, short or long tails, your build options are what you want them to be. Whether you want one of his OG builds or his new Spragless 2.0s, you're just one decision away from changing the game on your end. Customer service that is almost unmatched. Let GHE change your confidence in your builds and let them take you to the front of the line.